Shabbat Shalom. I'm Rabbi Ariane Weitzman of B'nai Keshet in Montclair, New Jersey. This week's Parsha is Bamidbar, the first Parsha of the book of Bamidbar, or Numbers in English. The book is called Numbers because it begins with a large census taking. Moses is instructed to count all of the men of a certain age as a proxy for counting the entire community. The text uses two interesting phrases in Hebrew to describe the census taking. The first is Se'u et rosh kol adat b'nei Yisrael, which literally means lift up the heads of all of the community of Israel, but idiomatically probably means to do a head count. And the other phrase is tifkedu otam, which just means, again, to count them, but is also used in some interesting ways elsewhere in the Torah. So that word tifkedu, lifkod, we remember it from Genesis 21 in the story of Sarah and the birth of Isaac, where it says that God remembered Sarah in most translations. Hashem pakad et Sarah. Perhaps it means God paid attention to Sarah, God counted Sarah, God took special note of Sarah. That word takes on a meaning of God noticing Sarah, singling her out, and noticing her exact need in that moment. Despite living a full and successful life, where she's made many accomplishments, where she's grown her family in interesting ways, where she's moved from her homeland to a new place, there's one thing that she lacks, and that's a child, Isaac. So God notices her, God remembers her, God takes special note and counts her in a new way. So too in this Parsha, each of the community of Israel is counted in a new special way, not just as a number, but as part of a lineage, part of a story that came out of Egypt, part of a story that goes all the way back to Jacob, and part of the story that will start a new community in the land of Israel. That's tifkedu. The other phrase, Se'u et rosh, lift up their heads, do a head count, makes me think about the way that we count people. There's actually a later rabbinic teaching that we're forbidden to count Jewish people. Instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4 for a minyan, some people might count not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, which is a little amusing. But the idea is that we shouldn't count the Jewish people because we should be as numerous as the sand by the sea or the stars in the sky. How can we possibly be counted? But what it means to count here, perhaps, is to lift up their heads, to take special notice, to notice who they are as individuals. And as we begin the month of June, which has been set aside as a month of pride and remembrance for the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer community, we might notice how we should take special note, how we should lift up folks' heads, how we should notice the special and particular needs of parts of our community that may have been ignored or shut out or forgotten. So we can take this command as an eternal command. Se'u et rosh kol adat b'nei Yisrael, lift up the heads of the entire community of Israel, and in fact, the entire community of the world, and notice their particular needs. Remember them, lifkod otam, remember each and every one of them. Happy Pride Month, Shabbat Shalom.